But there's a few key points to remember when nursing your baby. It's not hard. Break it down like this. One is always keep everything in line. It means no head turning. You don't want your baby's body to be lying flat and his head to be turned like this. So, the reason being is if you all want to turn your head like this and try to swallow, turn your head to the side and try to swallow, it's not as easy. You want everything to be in line. So you want your baby tummy to your tummy. Then one of the easiest ways, a lot of people start off like this and they hold their baby in the crook of their elbow, and then they try to get their baby latched on, and that doesn't usually work as well, especially when you're first getting started. But you can take your other arm and hold it right along here, straddling your baby's legs, and hold on to the back of their head and their neck. Now the reason being is their neck muscles are still very, very weak. But you want your baby to be able to move his head because that's important for him nursing. If you can support his head and his neck like this, so that he still has some range of motion. If he's here in the crook of your arm, he can't move his head nearly as well as if you have him like this. He's better supported, and your arm is running along his spine, so he's real good and tight, and he's not going anywhere. And then this is called the C hold. Yes, this is the breast. The C hold is you take from the bottom and you kind of squeeze till you make a nice little opening or a nice little sandwich for them. You squish everything down. It'll be squishable. And then you place that right above the baby's lip. You don't try to place it in their mouth just yet. You put it right above their lip, right there, in that little part, right above their lip. And then as they open their mouth, you pull the baby in tight to you, tight to your body, and as their mouth opens, that nipple will go into their mouth. Just like that. And then once you get that baby on there like that, you might want to hold it there for a while just to make sure everything is working well. Then you can move your elbow and support your baby like this. But this is how to get that good latch on to begin with. This is called the latch, is when your baby gets his mouth around that nipple. And they're going to show you on here. I'm going to let you watch this, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about what were you doing? We'll talk a little bit more about the latch after this video. So, let's back up.
Hi there, my name is Francesca Barrett. I'm a mom who chose to breastfeed my baby for a variety of reasons. Along with other benefits, breast milk offers a perfect nutritional balance of protein, carbohydrates,
use the bathroom?
If Eva wakes up and she
Do you have to
doesn't
use
want
the
to eat,
bathroom?
lay her back down. We can
Well,
have
then
another
sit
try
down and
about
play.
half an hour later. So how do I know when she's hungry and when she's full?
No.
Watch for things like snacking, second fingers, and rooting, and turning her head toward your breast. These are signs that your baby's hungry. She'll also give you cues that she's finished with the first breast or full and done eating. If your baby falls asleep or releases your nipple and turns her head away, burp her and then offer the other breast. If she doesn't take the other breast, the baby's done and she's satisfied. Got it. Let's try another position, called the football hold. This position gives you free use of one hand and it allows you to have better hip control facilitating latch on. So the football hold is a good position to use if you're having some difficulty with latch on at first. This is a good trick for moms who've had cesarean birth because the baby's position on mom's side like this is football. To start, use a pillow on your lap and a pillow on your side like this. Now let's place baby on your side. Angle her in toward your breast with your hand, holding the base of her head and neck. Now let's take your other hand and hold your breast in a C hold like you did in cradle hold. Bring her head up to you, tickle her legs, wait until she opens her mouth, and swoosh, latch on. Great. Latch down well. Good job, Miss. Notice how my mouth is moving and my lips are curled up? Yes, I'm so glad to see it. I'll look at that going forward. So how do I know when she's done eating? Her hunger and fullness cues will tell you when she's had enough for each feeding, but it's also important to keep track of her wet and heavy diapers, as they are good indicators of whether she's eating enough throughout the day. In the early weeks, you'll want to see 6 or more wet diapers every 24 hours and at least 3 bowel movements. For bowel movements, the first 2 or 3 days will be meconium, which is a sticky, tarry stool, and then they'll change to a mustard yellow color and become seedy looking, which is fine. Shall we go ahead and try the last position, which we call sideline? We now have so many options. The sideline position works well at night, especially when you and baby are tired. Simply lying down in a bed on your side. Your arms are close up, pointed underneath your head, or around from the back, cradling forehead, like you have it, and you're going to lay your baby next to you, tummy to tummy. Breastfeeding this position takes some practice. You'll find your own comfort level. Thank you so much for all your help. It burns so much. You're welcome. Looks like both are off to a great start.
Okay, so that looked kind of easy, didn't it? What do you think? Simple enough?
Yeah, my finger was just like, okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay,
Whatever.
okay.
And you know what? Most of the time, that's exactly how it works. If there is, for whatever reason, there is a problem, there is a lactation consultant here in Sebring who works out of Florida Hospital and she does home visits. So, you know, you can call up and ask for our own lactation consultant. If you need that information, you can call me and I'll get it for you. And you can always call me. I'm not a professional certified lactating consultant, but I can help you with small problems. And if it was something, you know, greater, then there are lactation consultants available. Okay, so we're gonna do something. There you go. And I want you to write down a reason why somebody you know could not nurse. For whatever reason, or something that you would think of that would prevent you or, you know, somebody you know from nursing. Maybe it's a fear that you have.
Did you look at mine?
No.
We always look at that.
I did
and be excluded from everything else if they're nursing. Yeah, if you have to sneak off and be by yourself for 30 or 40 minutes at a time, that can be kind of daunting, and you can be like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I could just give them a bottle and I wouldn't have to miss out on anything. But the fact is, you can nurse anywhere. By Florida law, you can nurse anywhere. And I've nursed just about everywhere that you can think of. Walking through Walmart, I have nursed. It's yes.
Do you have your cape? Like that little thing?
Yeah, I showed it to him last time.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I have a nursing cover, and I would pull it out, and you be completely modest as long as once you get good at the whole latching thing, you can throw a cover over you, and you can nurse wherever you are. I had one time in Panera Bread, I was nursing a baby, and my older son was sitting across the table, and a lady came up and was talking to my other son, and he was talking about his new brother. And the lady's like, oh, where is he? And he goes, he's eating. And she looked over at me and she goes, oh, so sorry. And I was like, oh, it's fine. No big deal. I mean, most of the time they don't even realize what's going on. They just think you're cold and you have a shawl on or something. And so you can nurse anywhere once you get good at it. And some babies, they don't like covers over their head, but there's ways to nurse without being immodest, without a cover. The way the clothes are designed now, you can cover up yourself and have your baby nurse in their head. And I've kind of started like my own little mini revolution with nursing in public, because I want people to know that it's okay and it's modest. I'm a very modest person, and some people, even if you ask them, oh, is it okay if I nurse? They're like, oh, no, that's immodest. And I've kind of changed their minds about that by just not asking and doing it anyway, and then they say, oh, it's no big deal. We have some really, really close family friends that, I mean, really, we're at their house once a week, or they're at our house, and their family, they bottle fed all their kids, and she's my best friend, and she has her reasons for doing so. And but they were not used to somebody nursing in front of them. But when they were around us, I had to feed my baby, and so now it's not a big deal to them. If you would ask them today, oh, what about somebody nursing in public? They'd be like, oh, yeah, no big deal. It's really not. So if that was, that can sometimes be the reason why people say it's easier to give them a bottle, because they feel like they have to be excluded from everything else. But the truth is, you don't. You can nurse your baby standing up at a party. You can at church, at wherever you would be with your baby, you can nurse them, and you don't have to worry about giving them a bottle so that you don't miss out on anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the reason or not.
It wasn't.
But but that sometimes that's why people consider it more difficult. But you're not gonna have that problem, right?
Nope.
So you can.
We already bought the thing, so.
Yeah, good. What was yours?
Oh, censored nipples.
Some people do complain about that, and in our next video, we're gonna talk about that, about why that can be. And so I'm gonna have you. They're gonna show a little diagram of this in this next video. But you can take your tongue right now, and you can put it at the top of your teeth, and you can reach back. You feel that kind of ridge washboard palate right there behind your teeth.
Or hard palate.
The hard palate. That's not fun. And if your nipple is scraping against that, it's gonna hurt. Or your baby is sucking on the end of your nipple, it's not gonna feel good. But if you move your tongue back, you reach a soft spot. Feel that in the back of your mouth? That's where you want your baby's nipple to be, and that's where it's gonna not hurt. And so when you're gonna have your correct latch, you're not gonna have sore nipples like that's unbearable and you can't nurse anymore. So that's why when I can, so you can nurse. Let's go to our next video, which is gonna show you a little bit more about that latch, about where it goes in the mouth. This one's shorter.
Breastfeeding is instinctive for babies. This is not true for mothers who learn to breastfeed with practice and by watching others. Many mothers decide to try breastfeeding because they've learned about its importance to lifelong health and wellness. But to make breastfeeding work, it must be comfortable for you and your baby. Your comfort
about how babies nurse, I have a bottle here. This is a lot more like baby breast. Now, who is brave enough to drink water from my bottle? It's clean. I washed it after he was playing with it. So.
Larson will.
He's our class guinea pig. Okay.
I had a nervous laugh. That's what that was.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Well, if you think about it, if you wanna just put this much in your mouth and try to get milk out or water out from that,
Yeah, good morning.
yeah, or sucking on it, you have to. How much? That's a lot of effort to suck on it, and that's gonna hurt. That's not how baby's gonna feed at the breast. Now try again. This time, put your whole mouth on this and use your bottom lip. I can even show you this way. This way that I won't make you do it this time because I'll show it this way. If you use the baby's gonna use his bottom lip, his chin,
It's okay.
to
Don't worry
actually
about it. It's okay.
push the milk out. He's not sucking. Babies don't suck. They push it out and then swallow. Push and swallow. And that's when you're gonna see your baby's chin move. And so you're gonna want to get your baby far enough on so that he can use his chin to push, and he's not just trying to suck on the end, because that doesn't work.
If you feel they don't have a good enough latch, you just break it and then
Break it and try it again. And while you're in the hospital, there are lactation consultants there to help you, and so they can help you work on getting a good latch. And then when you get home, if you need extra help, call me, call a lactation consultant, have them come over and help you get that good latch and get you established. Don't give up right away, because there's lots of things, even if for whatever reason, if there's a difficulty that you can't overcome, there are still other options out there besides just, okay, I couldn't do it, let me move on, and just do formula, I'll just give up. There's other options out there. There are things that can help you to be a success, so don't give up too much. Alright, we're going to look at the different obstacles. I put 3 on there, and really these are the biggest 3 that you have. The other things that can be worked through, but these are the three biggest obstacles. So who wants to tell me the first one on there?
pediatrician growth charts.
Pediatrician geriatrician. This is what we were talking about not making enough milk. For a long time, they were doing these growth charts, and they look something like, I don't have a book. Anyway, they look something like a little bell curve, and they have your baby's age and the weight that your baby's supposed to be. The problem is, for a long time, those charts were based on formula-fed babies. Formula-fed babies get fatter quicker than nurse babies. And so if your pediatrician is going off those old charts, then that's not applicable to you or your baby. If your baby's nursing, they're not going to grow as fast or as big as a formula-fed baby. And so they can't go by those charts. And even if you're in a lower percentile on even the regular the breastfeeding charts, you can make sure that your pediatrician's using the breastfeeding charts, not the formula-fed baby charts. Even if your baby is lower than the average, that's okay. There's always babies lower than average. If your baby's higher than average, that's okay. I know every mom wants their baby in the 99 percentile, but that's not necessarily healthy. Your baby's going to grow at the rate that they need to. Now, with myself and my husband, we're small people. We have small babies. Our babies are not very big. If you look at our youngest, he's really small for his age. But I know that he is developing normally because he's reaching all his developmental stages at the right time. He's not losing weight. He's not cranky or upset after he eats. He always got satisfied when he was nursing. Those are the things that you can look at before just looking at the charts. And so if you have a pediatrician that says, I don't think your baby's gaining enough weight, refer to the article. I put it in there for you. Watch the baby, not the scale. And look at those other developmental things. Now, if your baby is ever losing weight, then that is a problem and you want to address it. But normally your baby's going to do just fine on the milk that you are making. You are making enough milk for your baby. As long as you're, nursing them when they're hungry. You're nursing them frequently and you're not making them wait too long. So don't worry about those things as much. If the pediatrician says something, refer to into that article. Ask if you can try to up your milk supply before you start supplementing. There are ways to up your milk supply by eating things like oatmeal. Oatmeal's a good one. Drinking a lot of extra water, and there are some herbs that you can use. I have a tincture that I bought at Food for Thought, and it's called Mother's Milk Blend, and it's just some different herbs that are known to increase milk supply. And you can take those things to increase your milk supply. But the best thing you can do is if you're worried about your milk supply getting low and your baby's not getting enough, take a day off and spend a whole day in bed with your baby, nursing whenever your baby wants to. And that can up your milk supply more than anything else. Just him nursing often to just drive up that supply. Does that make sense? So that's not something, that's an obstacle that you might have, but you can get through it. Your baby does not have to be as big as your neighbor's baby. Okay? So don't worry about that, the growth necessarily. Just look at if your baby's healthy, is your baby satisfied? That's what you're going to be looking for. Okay, what's the next one?
Put on the tape.
Pacifiers and bottles. It's very tempting to use that pacifier in the first few weeks. Very tempting. The problem is, like what we saw with the bottle, pacifiers are made to be sucked on that milk. Well, a baby is learning these new skills. They're learning milking, which is and swallow, and then sucking. They can get confused. If they're trying to learn both at the same time, they can get messed up, and then they'll start sucking on your nipple when they're supposed to be, using their chin, and it can really mess with their motor skills. So try to get them established with nursing first, several weeks, and then you can start adding the pacifiers, and then you can start doing the bottles. When you start a bottle, this is just a side note, this one's free, have somebody else do it other than yourself, because if your baby is with you, they won't understand why they're getting a bottle. And it is a learned skill too. It might take some time and some practice before they will take milk from a bottle. Some babies just don't. They won't take milk from a bottle. So that's a free note. Okay. Anyway, next one.
Lack of confidence.
This one's really hard because this one's really hard for bystanders. Because when your baby is nursing, you're gonna feel vulnerable because you don't know how much is going into your baby, and you're looking and I hope they're getting enough. I hope they're getting enough. Okay, of course you're gonna be looking for those poopy diapers and those pee diapers. That means that your baby is actually getting nutrients and they're passing through the system. And so you're gonna be vulnerable and you're gonna be wondering in your own head, is my baby getting enough? And then as soon as somebody else says to you, I don't think you're making enough milk, your whole spirit's gonna be crushed. So you can do it. You can make enough milk for your baby. So don't let bystanders, people who, come around and tell you, oh yeah, I can never make enough milk for my baby. You're probably gonna have to supplement. Those kind of things. That'll just destroy your confidence. And so keep those people away, and make sure everybody around you knows that this is something that's important to you and to support you in it and not say things like that because they can be crushing. And I know my husband said something like that to me one time and I got very upset. So you might believe him and say, well, maybe I should start supplementing this. Maybe I'm not making enough milk. But the fact is that you most likely are making just enough milk for your baby, so don't get discouraged, okay? Alright, that's all of the obstacles. That's it. That's 1, 2, 3. And those are all things that you can have a control over. You can manage that. I put that article in there for you. And then some other things about, baby's life, about what they're going to be experiencing, things about milk production. That helpful guide.
No.
Those kind of things. I did put something in there about how your milk affects your baby. You just might want to read through those. I know right now you're all thinking about labor and all this stuff ahead, pregnancy, and so the baby part's kind of probably far in your mind. So that's why I have it in writing there, so you can go back and look at it later when it's more relevant to you. basic types. You have your electric pumps. This is very good electric pump, and you have your hand pumps. Now, I'll start with these. These are the least complicated. This is a Medela hand pump. It's very inexpensive. It's about $20 and works absolutely fabulous. The thing is, you have to trigger your milk letdown reflex first. Remember how I talked about that letdown? You have to sometimes trigger that first sometimes, or no matter what kind of pump you use. If you can't get that triggered, then it's not going to work as well. So if you can get that triggered, either sometimes all it takes is smelling something of your baby's, like having a baby blanket, especially if you're going back to work or going back to school, and you need to pump a bottle while you're away. If you take one of your baby's blankets, something that has their smell on it, and you can smell, or you can sit and think about your baby nursing, sometimes that'll just trigger your letdown reflex. And then it works like this. You just pump, and you try to get the rhythm that your baby would have when they're drinking, and it's excellent. Something that's not so excellent is one of these. This is an electric pump, but this one is awful, and I'll show you why. What do you notice about this?
It's loud.
Yes, loud.
It's constant.
It's constant.
Oh.
Your baby sucks. This is constant. This is garbage. Don't be fooled. Awful. So if you're looking on eBay looking for a breast pump, stay away from things that are constant. They're terrible. This is a much better option than this, and this is cheaper. Then we have this is your like high quality Medela pump in style breast pump. And how this works is it has a little suction there, and let me shake it for you. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want you to buy something online and not know what it looks like. Hear that? That's what you want to hear. That pumping, and it has a speed. You can turn it faster or slow. So this is a really nice version. These can run you up to $300, but if you're going to be away from your baby for extended periods of time, like going back to work or school, this is something you want to invest in because this is going to help you pump the milk that you need. And you can find them on eBay for cheaper, and it's not recommended like by the manufacturer that you reuse these, but as long as you buy new tubing, it's not a big deal. I got mine on eBay for like $50, and then you would need to buy the new tubing. This goes in there and it attaches like this. The rule for breast milk is a rule of threes: 3 hours out in room temperature, 3 days in the refrigerator, 3 months in the freezer. Simple enough. The 3 hours out, room temperature, 3 days in the refrigerator, and 3 months in the freezer. And y'all can look at this after class. Is it anything else? Okay, so how many weeks are you now? 30 weeks, so 10 weeks left. Is there any fun ideas you have come up with for counting down until baby's born? Are you doing the Facebook things? My baby's progress.
No, it's just I get more frustrated because it just goes slower and slower, so I don't try to think about it. So that
Right? And how many weeks are you now? 22. So halfway?
doesn't that suck when you hear that though?
Well, actually, no, because it feels like we just started this class, and I just started the class out was what, like 13 weeks?
Right.
I feel like we just started.
And now it's done, and now it's over, and now you know everything you need to know to have a baby. Now, I know there's a lot of things that we didn't cover in class, but I hope you feel better about it. I hope I didn't scare you too much. I'm afraid that I scared you a when to expect them to be teething, or when when they're gonna do this or when they're gonna do that, and it'll go over some various childhood illnesses and what to do during this. But a lot of those books you don't have to worry about. The book that you should be worried about is your baby book. If you got the stuff ready, this is my first son's baby book. I'll show you. This was him right after he was born. Don't we look young? That was 5 years ago. And this was my first son's baby book. This is the second son's baby book. And the third son's baby book is in here, I guess. But those are the things to worry about, a lot more than that. I hope you're taking pictures of yourself with a big belly too. That's always fun. Okay. Two last things. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to tell you before you leave. This is the last chance. Beware of Gerber sending you things in the mail that tells you that your baby needs to be eating meat at like 3 months. Because they want to sell baby food. And so they'll send you these. Once they find out you sign up for some free baby things online, they'll send you coupons.
Are you done with that
But
coffee?
they'll send you these things like when your baby's like 2 weeks old.
He's got your coffee
Here's
cup.
a coupon for rice cereal. Go buy some rice cereal. And you're like, wait, don't follow those guidelines. They're trying to sell baby food.